the Dirty Sports Podcast. I said, welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast with Andy Ruther and Joe Prano. Welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast.
Welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Andy Ruther, coming to you live from Cincinnati, Ohio, with my co-host from Guantanamo Bay, Joey No Chill Prano.
Hello, Andy.
I mean, they get you. Are you a migrant?
It's amazing. No matter what I do on this goddamn computer, I need studio lights. You should see right in front of me. There is a gigantic light on me.
Are you one of the hostages that they're trying to release in Gaza?
I'm actually inside a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week golf sim clubhouse. My buddy Ian, we watched the SNL 50 last night after dinner, and he was like, I'm gonna go hit golf balls. I'm gonna play a couple of rounds of simulated golf in the morning. He's like, you want to meet me over there and just do the podcast from there so you don't have to wake up your girlfriend screaming about how NBA All-Star Weekend is falling off the face of the earth? And I was like, sure, I'll do that. So you might hear some golf balls being driven in the background. But
so like my buddy's got a golf simulator, which by the way are like, that's like top of the food chain white person shit.
Yes, absolutely.
Right. Like a golf simulator is you don't get any more white than that.
No.
Is it and I've actually never played. I mean, how similar is it to the real thing?
Pretty similar. I mean, putting's not quite the same, but as far as like your actual, ball flight and all that, like pretty good. Like these guys, my buddies are playing right now. They're both golfers. They're playing pretty well. I played last night. A lot of pull hooks, a lot of slices. Exactly what I hit on the golf course.
And how long is a simulator versus?
Like, how long does it take?
Yeah.
So Troy, who's here right now, played 72 holes yesterday morning in 2.5 hours.
Okay, so
he played 4 rounds of golf in 2.5 hours.
Which, like, a normal round is going to take what?
Well, I would say if you were playing alone,
3 hours.
If you were playing alone, you could probably get done in probably 2.5. So it's essentially 4 times faster.
Okay. Yeah. I gotcha. Do people golf alone? Is that common?
Yeah, I've golfed alone. I've golfed alone a few times.
I've never golfed alone. Golfing alone and seeing a movie alone, just I don't know. I've seen a movie alone maybe twice in my life.
I mentioned it before the show, and then I just mentioned it in the intro. I watched SNL 50 last night.
How long was it?
It was like 3 hours.
Okay.
You're a big SNL guy, like historically.
No, not really.
No?
Depends. I just it's just not funny. Like when's the last time SNL was funny, dude?
I mean, I would say that there's funny stuff on every show, but I think the quality has certainly gone down. But we've talked about it before. SNL is for middle schoolers, essentially, but high schoolers.
Like Weekend Update, I can handle. I think those guys write good jokes. Throughout whatever the history of the show. I just like Brittany was upstairs watching it right now, and I literally, I know she gets annoyed because she likes. I just go, what's funny about this sketch you're watching? There's nothing about like here's my thing on this stuff. I think Chappelle literally took sketch comedy and made it so fucking good with those 2 seasons. And then I thought Key and Peele were great too. And I just think I just don't think the modern day, I don't know, because I don't
quote totally different shows in that you're writing one every week and live. That's the 50 best sketches Dave Chappelle could ever come up with, all
which is fair
with production value, with like, you can't just go, oh, we're going to do the racial draft and then on Wednesday, and then by Saturday have a draft room and have a whatever. Like that it's a completely different thing. You're comparing, a live weekly sketch show to something that they, can edit. Like I'm sure they did 50 takes on every joke. They tried this one, they tried that one, they tried this one, they tried that one, then they pull it.
Okay. Well, here's something again. Like I haven't watched for years. Here's something. So like, I watched some of they had a concert Friday, like a 3-hour concert of past musical gas at Radio City Music Hall, and I thought that was pretty good from what I watched. Again, she was watching it. There was a lot of great acts, a lot of legend acts, a lot of cool collaborations, cool covers. I thought that was great. But in that, like Andy Samberg came out and he started doing Dick in a Box with Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
And I was laughing at that. And then they segued into all the Lonely Island big songs. And that was my point. I was watching this. I go, where is this? Like those Lonely Island songs, I was laughing watching it. Dick in a Box, Jizz in My Pants. I Just Had Sex. The one with Michael Bolton. I'm on a boat. I said, where is, dude, that was like 15 years ago. And that shit was funny. Where
So
is
you're
that
just
on
saying
today's-
you're just saying currently.
Yeah, again, I'm saying like, that's kind of probably the last time I was like, oh, this is funny.
Well, listen, my question for you is more historical anyway. So last night we're watching it. Me, Charlotte, Jen and Brian, Ian, we're all watching the show. And I posed the question to everybody. I said, give me your SNL Mount Rushmore.
Oh, that's a tough one.
And essentially everybody except Jen had the same 4. Now we're all with it. Charlotte's probably the youngest of us at 34. Brian's probably the oldest of us at 47. But me, Ian, Charlotte, and Brian essentially had the same 4. And then Jen, had a couple, spoiler to tip you off to ours, had a couple women in there. Which
here's my thing on that. Like, first of all, we did this. Okay, we did this exact same thing when I worked for Lance Bass and Dirty Pop. We used to do like a March Madness bracket, and we did one of SNL. So that was like 10 years ago. And I remember like it was just basically like an hour-long discussion of how we going to bracket this down. Same thing, into like a champion, into whatever. I mean, the question I have for you now that I'm thinking back from that discussion is like, I can't really speak. I mean, you see the sketches, the old ones, but like I can't speak on a Belushi.
Sure.
Or
okay, so that's why I told
you
you.
That's
why I said we're all. There's a 13-year gap for us, and yet
I mean, Will Ferrell for
we
sure
came
is
up
in there for
the
me.
same month. Okay.
Like, is Will Ferrell in your 4?
He was in everybody's 4, and I would say he made my 4, although he was the one that I said he was the last one in.
Oh, interesting. Because he was the first one I thought was like, okay. I mean, it'd be really tough. I wouldn't even just tell you 4 without literally looking at the cast members.
But you can. Like, give me your Mount Rushmore right now. Mount Rushmore, you got Will Ferrell.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, off the top of my head, I would say Will Ferrell. But then, like, it's like, then you look at the 90s and you're like, okay, are you taking from the group of like Sandler and Farley and Spade and Mike Myers and Phil Hartman? It's like, whoever. Who are you taking? And
who
then,
are you
like,
taking?
I don't know. Like, here's the thing. I don't know. And then, like, as far as like, it's like, are you taking like, as far as you talk about the female cast members, it's like,
I don't have any females in mind.
You don't?
No, none of us except Jen did.
It's like, I'll be honest, this would be really tough for me to do without like really thinking about it.
All right. Well, I put everybody on the spot and everybody came up with the same 4. We all said you have to have a weekend update guy or a weekend update person.
Oh, okay. So if we're gonna do that, let me just say that. So if we're gonna do weekend update,
you don't have to, but I said that.
No, you're right. I would say Norm Macdonald.
Okay. So I also had the gang had Norm. We all had Farley.
Okay.
We all had Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, see. But see, that was even before my time. But okay.
And we all had Will Ferrell. And then I said Will Ferrell, little bit sort of after my prime time. Like I could say Sandler, but then it's like, oh, Sandler's kind of like what Sandler did is really post SNL stuff that makes you think of him. Although he was great on the show, then I was like, oh, it could be Phil Hartman, it could be Hader. But I think gun to my head, it's Norm, Farley, Eddie Murphy, Will Ferrell. And that was what the whole gang came up with. And then Jen was, of course, like Tina Fey, Amy Poehler, Richard Dratch.
No, see, yeah, I like it. And first of all, so like, you can even make an argument if you were to look at the females, like Kristen Wiig above.
Oh, she
those.
had Kristen Wiig in there, actually. Yeah,
I
She
would
had Kristen
say
Wiig. I think she went Kristen Wiig, Tina Fey, Farley.
but Tina Fey's more of a writer, and then Weekend
Yeah.
Update. No, I just like I'll just say this, in my opinion, like with just the age that we live in with social media and especially YouTube, it's like you look at because here's a prime example to like go back to my initial point of the show. Like Shane Gillis got fired, right? Before he even started. The sketches that he put out on Gillian Keeves are so funny. I don't think they would ever even do those on SNL. On his YouTube channel is my point of like, in the modern age, if you're funny, I don't even know. I'm not saying it's not a launching pad. I don't know. Dude, you just went through a list and then you're just like tossing out all those names. You're like, look how big these people are, or all the great sitcoms they did, or movies, or whatever. It's like, I don't know if it has that cachet now. Is kind of what I'm saying.
I think it still probably does, but at the same time, just like everything, it's not as important as it once was because there's just so much more shit.
Exactly.
The NBA All-Star Weekend isn't as important as it once was. The Super Bowl is not as important as it once was, I'd argue. Like everything.
I would vehemently disagree with that one.
Well, you're Mr. Football.
True.
I know more people than ever before that said they didn't watch Super Bowl this year.
But again, it had the most watched eyes.
Yeah.
Ever.
Well, listen, the NBA, again, same thing with the NBA. The NBA, you can say, oh, the ratings. It's like worldwide, no one's watching. The NBA has never been watched more.
I saw a lot of complaints about the game and Kevin Hart. And truth is, I didn't watch that yesterday.
I'll never understand Kevin Hart. I'll never understand it in any way, shape, or form.
Well, he's an industry plant, according to Cat Williams.
I mean, the definition of an industry plant. Just out of nowhere. And we'll see him forever for the rest of our lives.
Well, I mean, the out of nowhere is an interesting one because
remember there was the Chris Rock. Remember the Chris Rock joke about the Spice Girls? Spice Girls are like crack. Like it's the number one selling thing in the world, but you can't find anybody who likes it. Like who admits to liking it. It's like, where are my Kevin Hart fans? Like, I want to go to Kevin Hart's Instagram and see who I follow that follows Kevin Hart.
I think you'd be surprised. I think I'd probably follow him, or used to, just to see what he's doing. But like my
just see what he's doing.
My point,
everything. 400. He's on set. Andy, it's Tuesday tomorrow. He's got to film 27 commercials and then 15 NBA promos.
And then 3 movies with The Rock. But
yeah,
but like the point is, like, he had a small role in 40-Year-Old Virgin, in the store. You remember? We were going back and forth. I don't know, like Kevin Hart came, that's what I'm saying. Kevin Hart came and performed in my college in 2005. His credit at that point was Soul Plane.
Just imagine though, if just Ken Jeong was on 75 commercials and everything, like it's like I had a small part in The Hangover and like we blew up in this and blah blah blah. What if you just on everything, just every single space you turned, Ken Jeong was just like,
well, it seems to be working, or people just say we're going to put him in everything. It's what I'd be curious about somebody. I'd ask somebody like Kevin Hart. I'd say, do you ever just say no?
And the answer is no. He'd love to do our podcast.
Yeah, but or is it? And again, like you do what you want to do. I don't really care. I guess my other question would be like, is it because of money, which is fine. Like you just want to make the most money ever. Cool, that's fine. That doesn't bother
And
me.
he's
But like,
probably just like the world's biggest fame whore, and just like he's probably very mentally ill and needs attention.
or is it that, or is it a combo?
Probably combo.
Because apparently he was. Again, I didn't watch any of it. He was. They had him mic'd up like the whole All-Star game. I don't know if you knew this, like the whole game.
No, I didn't watch any of the game. Like I don't even understand the game.
I don't either. What
I
are they
don't
doing?
understand the Team Shaq team. I don't understand it.
What are they doing?
I don't know. I didn't watch it. And I don't care. I did watch a dunk contest, and Mac McClung was insane and is maybe the greatest dunker of all time.
I want to hear your thoughts on that.
I mean, obviously, it will never have the importance again of the dunk contest because it's not as important as it once was. He'll never do that. And also that he's not a player, and he's certainly not an all-star player. Like, I think it's always great when an all-star player is doing the all-star dunking and is somebody that you can go, like, we watch Vince Carter dunk in games and we watch Vince Carter dunk and whatever. Mac McClung is essentially just he's literally a dunker. That is what his career is. And I was joking when we were watching it, his G League coach being like, why is there a guy with a hoverboard here? Like, who is this guy? He's like, oh, just coach. I'm just practicing for like my job. And the coach was like, are you pulling a Kia into the practice facility? Like it's going to scuff the floor. He's like, oh, I got to jump over a car. He's like, I just got to do it. Like he's not a basketball player. He's a professional dunker.
He's like an N1 tour member.
Yeah. But he is the best dunker ever. That shit was insane, dude.
There were a lot of funny tweets and memes about what you're saying. Is like, he just shows up. What did I see somebody tweet? Somebody tweeted like, imagine how crazy it's gonna be when he dunks over a car in the middle of a game. You're just like, but it's exactly to that point of he's such a great dunker. He's played one game in the NBA this year.
Yeah.
And I feel like we do this every year.
Yeah. But he is the best dunker I've ever seen. Like, he was doing shit. You were just like, what the fuck just happened? Jumping, spinning, and head on the rim and tapping the ball. Like, it's crazy. And he basically didn't miss a dunk.
So
450s, didn't miss a dunk, had like a misfire on the first one, but essentially didn't miss a dunk.
So between him three-peating the dunk contest and a white guy getting a pick six in the Super Bowl, was this like the best week in white sports history?
Yeah.
White cornerback got a pick six in the Super Bowl?
Yeah. And a white dunker three-peated. And Donald Trump made it the Gulf of America.
And you're in a golf simulator.
And I'm in a golf simulator, yeah.
Like here's the thing about his dunks. I totally agree. And it's like,
I've been president for what, 6 weeks? We've already got white guys pick sixing in the Super Bowl. Guys jumping over. Honestly, would have been better if he jumped over an American-made car. Just saying. I'd like to see him jump over a Cybertruck next year. Just gonna put that out there. Kia. I don't know if I like the Kia. Might have to have a tariff so that he has to dunk over a Ford or a Chevrolet next year. With my tariffs, he'll be jumping over a Ford or a Cybertruck. But other than that, incredible performance.
Speaking of the Kia, is that still an official NBA car? Do you know?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, I was gonna say.
It's why the NBA is not where it once was. Back in my day, they had Ford.
Dude, I can hear her laughing above me watching SNL. This is what I'm saying. I can hear her laughing. This is my point.
I mean, there were some moments from the 50. There's some moments.
Look, I'm sure there were. And I don't know. I might sound like, oh, fucking Ruther's just being all. It's like I'm just being honest. Like I just don't find.
But this is something that we've discussed on the show, and it's something that has been discussed at length. It's not for you anymore.
Yeah. But like if you put on an episode of Always Sunny, I'll be giggling.
That's for you.
I think comedy is it's harder to do now. It's just maybe like you said, it's just there's so much exposure and there's so many things out there. You can just laugh. But I'll tell you what I don't want. I don't want 3 hours of Kevin Hart on a mic at an NBA All-Star game.
No. I don't want 3 minutes of Kevin Hart ever. I never wanted Kevin Hart, not for 1 second.
Do you think that is true? I mean, I'm being dead serious now about the industry plant stuff.
Yes,
like
100%. Explain to me how, like, explain to me the other way that it happened.
I don't know. Just like
everybody loves Kevin Hart.
All these people get together. Oh, you know who saw him? I'm gonna get my brother has my little brother has the worst taste ever. I think he saw him when he came to Cincinnati last year.
I'm just looking at Kevin Hart.
But my brother, which is funny that my brother saw him. My brother is known to have the worst pop culture takes of anybody in my family, which would line up since he paid to see him.
You do, in fact, follow him, as do 283 people. It's like, who are everybody? I might unfollow everybody that's following Kevin Hart.
I didn't even realize I was still following.
283 mutuals.
Or does this prove our theory? Did Instagram? You know how you'd be like, I don't remember following this person on a social media app. Did the algorithm did Instagram like a force follow at some point?
It's unbelievable.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Have you ever been on an app and you're like,
yeah,
I don't remember following this account.
Yeah. Troy, how do you feel about Kevin Hart generally?
I think he's funny and short as a
funny and short.
funny and short. And I would love to he has a slappable face.
And he has a slappable face.
I mean, here's my thing. I don't even say I would dislike Kevin Hart.
Does he not?
Yeah, yes, he for sure has a slappable face.
You know, I wouldn't even say I dislike him. For the record, I met him. He came on Lance Bass's show. He was nice. He came on for like 20 minutes at an event we were working. I mean, he was fine. I have a picture of Instagram with him. Like, he was a nice dude, but like, I wouldn't seek him out. Now,
I think I can say with 100% certainty, I've never seen a cinematic feature film starring Kevin Hart. I've never seen one.
Okay, well, let me say this though.
Have you ever seen the Kevin Hart movie that he starred in? You ever seen anything?
What was the one with Will Ferrell? I think I might have watched.
They're both cops or something like that?
Yeah, well, it's something like, it's something about somebody, Kevin Hart's going to have to go to jail or something. Probably came out 10 years ago.
Go hard or hard time or something like that?
That rapper, what's that rapper? I'm losing my name. Forgetting, he's in it, from Atlanta.
Ludacris.
That really narrows it down. No,
Andre 3000.
No, but anyway, regardless, I do think Kevin Hart was.
I'm running out of Atlanta rappers. 2 Chainz.
No, it's he was big when I was in college. Why am I losing my mind? I just lack of sleep.
T-Pain.
No, not T-Pain. God, what? Like I've lost my mind. Anyway, lack of sleep. My point was I thought he was decent in the roast of Tom Brady. Like I thought he was decent.
Everything was a gay white guy joke.
I don't remember. All I know is
I just remember for one of the roasts, somebody called Kevin Hart Shaq's dick.
See, that makes
somebody was like, Shaq's dick's here.
I guess they were disqualifying players for like working around the rules of the skills competition. Did you see that?
No.
They disqualified Wemby and CP3. I think where you push the ball through something, they were bouncing it and realizing they could do it, and they got
okay.
Apparently, it was kind of a mess of a weekend from everything I saw.
Listen, I just watched a dunk contest. I don't understand the game. If I did, I might have watched it.
You know what I want to talk about? I don't know enough about. I want to. Where are you, Ryan Clapp? What's this USA Canada? This 4-team, everybody's turn. That was exhibition, but that was like I watched the highlights of that. They fought 3 seconds in. Did you
Once
see that?
again, saying we've made it great again.
It was Ti, by the way. Thanks, 8 million. I seen the comment.
Ti. Okay.
I said got T. Like I forgot Ti. What's wrong with me? No, but that looks fun. Where are you at, Ryan Clatt? But where is Ryan Clatt? I hope all is well for real. Because weren't we doing updates? I mean, we're halfway through the season?
I don't know. Yo, it sounds like you gotta shoot a DM to Ryan Clatt.
Are you on a runaway train?
Never coming back. Wrong way on a one-way track.
And they had 2 versions of the video. One that showed the missing kids, and one people were like, we can't handle this. It's too emotional.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Remember they did 2 versions of the music video?
Yeah.
But yeah, that looked fun. I mean, look, I think again, it's not just an NBA problem. We talk about it with the Pro Bowl. We had a call about it and we discussed it. It's like these all-star games.
Dude, when I was a kid, I'd watch the hockey all-star game.
Yeah.
I don't even know when hockey all-star weekend is.
Well, this wasn't it. That's what's confusing.
You're right. I know.
I don't know what this was. The 4 teams played. I do love fighting in an exhibition game.
Yeah.
I kind of love that.
I think there were 4 fights in 9 seconds.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of like Pete Rose being so insane that he ruined a catcher's career at an all-star game. Ray Fosse running him over, but
yeah,
like what's the? I guess my question to you is, I assume it does. You say, what's the point if it's just shit for any of these leagues? The All-Star.
selling Kias, baby.
Dude, I saw something.
Honestly, that Kia looks like they make that Kia look nice these days. Probably did sell some Kias because Mac McClung jumped over them.
Kias are, dude, I'm
one.
gonna say it right now on air. Kias are an underrated vehicle. I've never owned one. I think they're an underrated vehicle.
Well, they've certainly made major leaps in the last couple of years.
I would say in the last like 10 years.
Yeah.
You ever test driven a Kia?
I have test driven a Kia.
That's what I'm saying. I think they're an underrated vehicle. It's, I believe it was that South Korean.
Overpriced these days for
everything is.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say? Damn, there's something I was gonna say. Prano, this like we're 30 days in. My brain is just like.
You're one of those people, and I know these people, but you're certainly one of them. You fit the bill. You're one of these guys. It's like you're the first person in history to ever have 2 kids. You're like, you don't know what's going on here. Like,
no. Here's what I am.
Graham was like, it's 5. John's like, grow up.
No, I know. Here's what. First of all, I know I'm soft. I always acknowledge I'm soft. I'm pathetic. I know that. What I am.
You're one of those people where you call them and you're like, I'd love to, but I have children. And it's like, yeah, literally the whole world has children. I mean,
no, right now it changes. It's like she's 2. I'm saying it's a sleep thing now, where you gotta like. Here's how I view all this. You have 24 hours in a day, right? How can I break down to get 6 hours throughout that 24 hours? I almost view it. You're gonna laugh at this. I'll bring it sport because I think of the sports analogy. It's almost of like load managing my sleep. Of like, does that make sense? It's like, oh, I can steal 4 hours here. I can get a 20-minute nap in here while I'm on the rocker with her. I can get 30 minutes here. That's kind of how I view it. Is like, how do I steal 6 hours of sleep?
But how long wasn't the baby sleeping like 20 hours a day at this point?
Well, the problem is like sometimes I need to be held to sleep. Sometimes they don't want to be in. But you also still, this, you still have to you still have to work. You still got to do other shit. You still got you got another kid. It's just like that's definitely a lot harder with 2. But yeah, I'm not saying that this is Dude, I'm not a
Can
coal
I ask
miner.
can I ask a serious question that's also fully mocking you, but is a dead serious question? How long until she's in daycare? Like where are we at here?
Oh
Is
yeah,
she
she'll
2
be
months from
daycare
daycare?
2 months.
You're gonna be the first person. Your third child's gonna be in daycare while it's still in your wife.
I don't think you are aware. It's everything we're doing is what everybody does.
No one puts their infants in daycare.
What's that? Yeah, they do.
Like a non-walking baby.
Yeah, they don't walk till they're like anywhere from 10 months to 13 months, dude. Everybody does. You should come to our daycare. They start at 6 weeks,
It's insane.
but it all depends on maternity leave. Like some people get 6 weeks. Dude, the woman my boss at Gold Star, she gets 6 weeks. She's like, I get 6 weeks. That's it. Like that was the traditional way, 6 weeks. What are you supposed to do after that if both people work?
I don't know.
Daycare. I mean, I know. I don't know why you think this is insane. Literally, that's
I love that you're like everybody does this. The entirety of our fan base was like kids in daycare.
no, they weren't. None of those. Any of the dirtballs that have kids, they know. You don't even know the DMs I have with the dirtball dads. That should be its own subset. The dirtball dads. You don't even know, Frana, the DMs. I get advice. I get shout out to all the dirtballs who are like, do not get a dog with two young kids. Like, I get dirtballs being like, oh, get ready. This is gonna suck for a bit. I'm gonna
Look at this fucking guy with this fucking Stanley. This fucking it's bigger than Kevin Hart. The fuck is that?
You gotta stay hydrated.
What's in there right now? Just water?
Just water. I'm trying to stay
The
hydrated,
fucking
man.
Stanley Cup.
This is a big boy, isn't it? Look at this dog.
Jesus Christ.
Hey, man, trying to stay hydrated over here. We're in sub-zero temperatures. Everybody's got a cold over here. We're just trying to stay hydrated, trying to stay good. Shout out to the dirtball dads. That's all I'm gonna say, Prano. How dare you? How dare you question? You don't even have an answer for it. What are we supposed to do?
I
You
don't
said
know.
unt-
What did
You
everyone
said, you said until they walk, bro. Like I said, I wasn't walking until she was like 12 months old, 13 months old.
I've literally never in my life heard of just like babies like just laying in pens. It's like baby pen, like pens of infant babies.
Yeah, I didn't really either until when you have kids, you realize, dude. You know how competitive it is to get in these daycares too. By the way, like the waiting lists.
I mean,
No,
can you just like at this point, like, isn't it? Can you just start a daycare? It's just like, hey, man, I got floor space.
Oh,
Right.
dude,
Bring over 12 kids, lay them down. Not
that
going
would-
anywhere.
I always say that'd be a great business, man. It'd be a great business. But then again, we had a woman who jetted. I love how this is hijacked the whole show. We had a woman who jet our daycare, and she was trying to start her own shop, way cheaper,
Her
of
own
course.
shop.
Her own little, like at her house. But I said to her, I said, what happens when you get sick? God forbid you get in a car accident. Like, we're fucked, dude. Whereas daycare, that's not a problem. And once you leave the daycare, dude, you're not getting back in. Like you just, dude, the waiting list, some of these waiting lists are like, some of these daycares, I'm not exaggerating. The waiting list is, you basically have to get on it before you even are pregnant. You're like, how does this work?
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying the third Ruther kid will be in daycare before it is literally born. You'd be like, we've enrolled her.
Miller Lite start paying us more money than we can just have an at-home nanny. That's what I'm talking about. Give me some of that money.
Everybody, make sure this is a Monday episode, and remember, if you're listening to this, please continue to subscribe on Substack. Ruther needs that those Substack funds to pay for his baby's. I don't know, nurse. Like, I'm just picturing it's like a greenhouse, just like a bubble filled with like little plants, like little babies just in rows.
Oh, bro, they got it on lockdown too. They got it. It's so efficient that imagine you got to give bottles every 3 hours to all these different kids. But somebody left a real funny comment I saw on last episode. Somebody wrote, Ruther's just trying to get rich so that he can get a night nurse. It like it's not about having cars for me. It's just like, I just want some help over here. But yeah, it's fine. Like, we're gonna be fine. My brain at the end of the day,
If you have a golf sim in your house, your wife has a night nurse, right? Like those are equal level male and female
Oh yeah.
white people spending shit.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, you can have a golf sim,
Let me put it this
but
way.
I am not getting up with this baby.
My buddy's got a golf sim. My buddy, I've changed more diapers in the last 24 hours than my buddy's changed probably his whole life because he's got a golf sim. You know, that indicates what's going on over there. We don't got a golf sim. We got a Papa Shot over here, which have not been able to get enough Papa Shot time, man, by the way. Need to get back on that game. Oh, we do have a call.
What's up, dude?
Let's get to an NBA call. De'Aaron Fox, your boy, you called out. Was it Lucas?
Yeah.
He called in. Diehard Kings fan.
Ruther Prano is your number one bud tender dirtball. Luca Cash Money calling back in regards to last week's episode. And ignore the calls. I have a lot to say, and you can get the previous two for the synopsis on what I'm about to say. But long story short, in regards to the Kings Fox trade, majority of the problem falls on Vivek. De'Aaron Fox is not the problem. He never was. He gave them a fair warning, said, if you fire Mike Brown in the middle of the season, I'm out. That's what happened. He forced his way out. A lot of people turned on him in Sacramento. I think it's disgusting. Me, I'm going to put the blame on ownership, like has been the problem the entirety of the time when they traded Tyrese. Now they traded Fox. It's honestly, the Kings are the Bengals of the NBA. I can't support this ownership group anymore. So I think I'm going to become one of those guys who's just, I'm a fan of players. Love to see LeBron win another ring. That would be awesome. Fox and Wemby is going to be the duo that I really want to root for going forward because my love for De'Aaron Fox was the reason that I would go to NBA games, specifically Sacramento Kings games. Call me back or let me know what you guys think on that. But yeah, I'm jumping ship. I can't be a battered wife anymore. Condoms are for Vivek Ranadive.
And that to me is that's
not going to own here anymore. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's the perfect analogy. That's what I always use here in Cincinnati. The battered wife. It's on these owners, and then people. Oh, he's not going to hit me anymore. Oh, this year's going to be different. We're gonna keep the right core guys. We're gonna pay the right players. We're gonna upgrade our facilities. This year's different. He's not going to hit me anymore. He's not going to cheat on me. Yeah, it's battered wife syndrome.
Well, I think if you're a disgruntled Kings fan / De'Aaron Fox supporter, that it is a completely legal and legitimate move to start rooting for the De'Aaron Fox, Wemby, Spurs now while they're a borderline playoff team. If you get on board now and you go full in, that's a legitimate changeover.
Yeah.
If Ruther's allowed to put his kid in daycare at 6 weeks old, you can sign transfer papers while.
You know what's funny about all this? We literally had an episode where we had a little mini chaos going on here, and I had to bring her on the podcast.
Yeah.
And the look on your face was like, what the fuck? So like, it wouldn't work. Although, I mean, if we can do it, if Joe wants me to hold a baby
no, I don't want you to do anything. I'm just like
90 minutes on a show.
I don't want you to do anything. You do whatever you why don't you just put your baby in your Stanley? You solve all the problems. Just when you're doing the podcast, just sit the baby in the Stanley.
Oh man. You know, Luca, I'll say this, man. I think, and I've said this before, I think it takes a lot more balls to walk away than stay. Again, the same way when you're in a bad relationship, it takes balls to walk away because change isn't easy. And I don't understand why I guess I do understand. I should say not, I don't, but like why more people don't just say, hey man, like this is my hard-earned money.
Because I think a lot of people think that like, well, obviously a lot of people like stupidly believe it's going to turn around at some point. And it's like, if I've made it through all of this, then I'm then it'll be that much sweeter when we win. And
Dude.
it's like, if you're a Kings fan, don't worry about it. Like,
I do love that analogy with the Bengals. One of my buddies here called me yesterday, and he goes, "Dude, I got the worst Bengals fan take of all time." I said, "Dude, no way." I was like, "I've heard them all." He goes, "No, get this." He goes, "I dropped my son off for his basketball game, and I guess I don't know if it was one of the coaches or one of his kids' dads. Regardless, he's in all Bengals gear." And I'm like, "Oh, you're pretty geeked." He goes, "Yeah, man, this is our off season." He goes, "You know what's going to happen?" He goes, "We're going to sign everybody. We're going to sign T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, Trey Hendrickson. We're going to give everybody who wants the money." And he goes, "You know what's going to happen? The other free agents in the NFL are going to see the team the Bengals have, and they're going to take pay cuts to come to Cincinnati to win a Super Bowl, and they're going to get all the free agents because they're going to sign those big."
That's the worst take of all time. That's a guy who's never, like, I would argue that guy has never even been on vacation out of Cincinnati. I would argue that guy's never been to Florida. That guy has never been to. He's just like, why wouldn't people want to be here? Like,
my buddy goes, "I didn't." He goes, "I wanted to." He goes, "It was such a idiotic thing to say. I didn't even want to just look at him and go, dude, guys want to make the most money. Like, there's a shelf life for this, and they know it." Like, the thought of also, and he goes, it's like, does that guy even realize they've never won anything? Like, a guy might take a discount later in his career to play for a dynasty, but like, I said, yeah, that's a top 5 worst take, like, local fanboy take that I've ever heard. And his name was Justin Wood. Justin, get it together.
there'll be no Justin Wood slander on the show. Justin Wood's holding it down at my place all weekend with Bob.
Oh, I know he is. Me and Justin, we like to do our Bengals text to each other.
Yeah.
I mean, Justin at this point said
he's calling it the Bachelor Weekend with Bob. He was like, "We're watching the dunk contest." I was like, "This is the best." I just keep getting updates from Justin of him and the dog just laying on the couch. Charlotte always jokes. She's like, for Bob, he's the perfect dog sitter because both of them just want to lay on the couch and watch some TV. You know, I'm just imagining Bob has watched the AFC North Hard Knocks like 4 times this week.
How many Miller Lights do you think Justin had at your place?
I hope I told them that the Justin, if you're listening to this, I hope I told you that the shed fridge is full of Miller Lite. He's aware that the shed is full, right?
It's funny. I told Justin, I said he needs to redecorate your entire place in nothing but Philadelphia Eagles stuff. Oh, it gets serious then, doesn't it?
I'll kill Kevin Hart. I'll cut Kevin Hart's throat.
What would you do if there was Eagles gear just everywhere? I'd
unfriend Justin Wood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how serious you are about it?
Yeah. I texted our boy Dan Gormley the other day because he was at the parade. I was like, I hate the Eagles more than life itself, but I'm happy for you, buddy. I was like, in no way, shape, or form am I happy for Dave Briggs. He should kill himself, but you know, you're an actual ride or die.
Wow, just tossing out names out there. You guys, I remember you guys used to get into some battles out at the bars.
Who?
You and Gormley.
Oh yeah.
Over the Eagles. And Gormley was also a Mavs fan, so he needed something to.
Yeah, he really needed
a Mavs fan to even it out.
Yeah.
I saw Adam Silver commented on the trade. Dude, I swear there's something messed up here. And he knows about the conspiracies. Why would he say this? He said this at All-Star Weekend. I have absolutely no knowledge or belief that there were any ulterior motives. He said at a press conference. There is no doubt in my mind that the Dumont and Adelson families bought that team to keep it in Dallas. I have no doubt whatsoever that they're committed to the long-term success of the franchise. So it's like, okay, you're here's the thing. You're even acknowledging that people are like, yo, something doesn't add up.
Yeah.
I don't even know why he would comment on that.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to.
Yeah.
You think Roger Goodell's commenting on any every NFL thing? No. So I don't know. I just thought that the whole thing was kind of interesting that he would comment on it.
Well, again, you got to remember, commissioners are just mouthpieces for owners.
Sure.
So the owner, either the Mavs owner or Cuban or whoever, was like, "Hey, yeah, you got to say this."
We have we have a great Dirty Sports update. You probably didn't look at the run. Have you followed the Richie Incognito update?
I did look at the rundown, and I saw that you said it says on the rundown that the Richie Incognito bullying story is fake.
It's completely made up.
But what does that even mean? I don't even know what that means.
Dude, I forgot too. You remember the NFL did a 144-page investigation? He was suspended for 8 games, then basically blackballed, didn't play the year after that. He lost about 1.5 years of income. So I don't know if you remember, Jonathan Martin said that
I remember,
him, Pouncey, that they bullied him. Now there are some wild voicemails which exist. But now he came clean. And he said he was never bullied. His parents wanted to push that. He had a lot of mental issues. And I read the article in the Miami Herald. He admitted that he lied about being bullied.
Huh. I don't even really. Again, so wait, there's voicemails, and then like there's a lot of evidence in the thing, but essentially, is he saying like, yeah, but that doesn't add up to bullying, or?
Well, Incognito is hilarious because he keeps posting all these pictures of those guys out together. Here's what's crazy. He said Incognito was his best friend on the team. So like they have all these pictures of these guys socializing. But yeah, he basically said it was all bullshit, and it was basically a story that was run with. Again, it was a 144-page report done by an independent investigator. It was also known as Bullygate, and they say ESPN, all these, they just hopped on it. He told ESPN this recently. I never believed he's saying this. I never believed for a second I was being bullied. Took him. This was 10 years.
And so what drove the whole thing?
So apparently, he's got mental health issues, which
sure,
a lot of us do, and like that's normal. But basically, his parents were really pushing this.
But like, for what? Like, but like, just your parents just call you up one day and like, hey, we've decided to make your teammates bullying you a thing.
Martin admittedly let his mother make a convenient excuse for him, claiming he was in a hostile work environment. That's fiction. He was.
This is for like for him playing bad or him getting caught or like. Okay.
So like, and I guess on record too, Incognito even went to certain reporters before all this happened and was like, "Hey, he's a young guy. Like, take it easy on him in the press." So like, we now even have record of Incognito sticking up for him. Now, was there intense ball busting, I think, happening? Yeah. We have the voicemails.
Right.
He calls him a half N-word. They're drunk. I don't know if you've seen, like, Incognito keeps posting all these videos or pictures of like him and Pouncey, like 3 of those guys out a lot. But look, I'm sure there was hazing. I'm sure. But yeah, he basically said he wasn't bullied and he wasn't taking accountability. Incognito, like I said, gets suspended 8 games. Nobody picks him up the next year. Then he comes back in the league and still continues to play well. Gruden signed him, but here's the thing about Incognito. Both things can exist. He's insane, guys. Let's not forget. He tried to decapitate his dead father?
Yeah.
At the funeral home?
Yeah.
And didn't he also like get in a fight with his grandmother, like in Phoenix or something, Scottsdale?
Like a samurai sword or something like that.
Yeah. So like Incognito, look, he's a lunatic. But apparently he didn't feel that he's saying that he wasn't bullied.
Okay.
Now maybe he has battered wife syndrome too.
Yeah.
like
No, listen, I mean, I think it's an interesting thing to bring up. You know, it's like you're out of the news, you're out of the game, you're out of whatever. I guess like I applaud him saying like I never felt like I was bullied. Even if maybe he was bullied, saying I never felt that way. It was just something that blah 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 blah. But good for him to say it. You know.
yeah, well, he a lot of people now are going at Mike Florio because apparently he really hyped up the story back then. And I've seen a lot of former players hop in too. Like there's a bad beef there. Look, I mean, you and I both know this. I'm sure bullying happens in the NFL. I do, like I know we hate.
But also, it's the NFL. Like, what are we talking about?
Yeah, exactly. Like we messed with kids when I was a senior in football, like in high school. You'd mess with the sophomores when they were coming up to varsity. Like,
listen, one of my best friends, he's in my wedding party. He's been one of my best friends since high school. Freshman year of high school, he got a nickname. We became close friends late in high school, stayed super close college, roommates together in New York, move into a second place together in New York, move into the 131 in Brooklyn together. And at that point, he goes, hey, enough with this nickname. Like, I'm done with it. So it's like, you could be, he's literally one of my best friends in the world.
yeah.
He went 10 years before he said, please stop calling me this. So like he was bullied and he was my best friend the whole, you know, but the majority of that time. And to this day, Mikey still calls him that.
I mean, look,
doesn't give a fuck.
I think you could agree that like the bullying term, it's a broad term. You could I think most people could say if they have older siblings, they were bullied. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Like I never viewed my older brothers as bullying me, but that's exactly what it is.
Right.
That's 100% what it is.
And I've dealt with that with other people. Like I've had those conversations where you go like, I think I've said it to you about one of our friends in common. I'm like, you just didn't have a brother.
Yeah. No, and you're right. You're right. If you have brothers, you know what it is, dude. Especially you know what bullying is. And I assume there was some bullying, or you know, to me, like I always use like it's like bullying / ball busting.
Yeah.
I mean, look, there's a lot.
I'm literally trying to bully you about sending your kid to daycare. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not
like
working,
I'm bullying you. What's that?
It's not working at all.
I know.
What's funny about, again, you don't have any answers. You don't have any answers. I'm like, okay, so let's say she doesn't go to daycare. I can't afford somebody to come to the house. So then where does that leave me?
I don't know. What does everybody else do?
You keep saying everybody else, dude.
I don't think I've known anyone who's ever put their kids in daycare as like a.
Well, then you're fortunate to know people who don't have to work, and the mom or the dad can stay home. Like that's what it is. Everybody I know here, all my Cincinnati buddies, your kids are going to daycare, man. Right out of the oven.
I'm just picturing just like a pile of babies. They have like little. Is this like just a 20 crib room?
So here's how. Yeah, here's
just
how
going around watering plants.
Here's how it works. The rooms are numbered, you know, numerically. Room 1 starts at the youngest, and then after 6 months, they just move up every 6 months. Room 2.
Are there name tagging these babies? Because babies can look similar.
Yeah. So basically, you walk into that first room.
You worried about leaving with somebody else's baby?
No, I know
you would know for sure.
I would know. But yeah, I think it's probably a legit concern. No, but yeah, there's like this room. So you have to have a ratio. You know, all this stuff is regulated. So like, you have to have so many workers per kids, just in general. Like that's a state law. So obviously, the more expensive daycares have the best ratios. So like our daycare, I think state law is six kids to one worker is the most you can do. Our daycare is probably like 3.5 to 4 kids per worker, which is fine. And when they're babies, yeah, they're in all those cribs, they're in the swings, they're in, you have to follow protocol. The kids have to be on their backs. You're not allowed to sleep on your stomach. All those things. So, but yeah, it's a room you walk in. There's not going to be, because they have 3 workers in the room. There's not going to be more than 14 kids, and some are in a crib, some are in a little bouncy thing, some are like, but there's a giant board. They have it monitored of like who feeds who when. You're bringing in the milk. Dude, it's actually a very well run operation, to be honest. Like, I would actually say my daycare is run way more efficiently than the Cincinnati Bengals. Like it doesn't even come close. I bet you Isla, and then soon to be Molly, I bet their daycare, I bet they have better facilities than Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. In fact, I would venture on it.
And it's just like 40 kids under a tennis bubble, so it's basically the same exact thing.
Yeah, or as I call it the Wuhan labs. I'm like, all you kids do is just spread germs.
I just picture like a lady walking through with like a ladle full of milk, just like a little bit here, a little on this baby.
You've clearly Prano's never been in a daycare ever. Have you ever been in one?
I mean, to me, like a daycare was just like, when I think of a daycare, it's like, oh, there's like, the floor stuff, and there's like blocks, and like kids are running around. It's like, well,
that's for the older kids for sure.
To me, daycare is just like one, like half notch below preschool.
Well, that's what I thought too growing up. But I think things have changed. Well, I don't think I know things have changed because everybody's working. Like, everybody's working. The moms, the dads, and then, trust me, people don't want to pay for this because it's not cheap. Nobody wants to pay for this. But also, if people have to work, what are you gonna do? Dude, it's not the day. So my mom, right, could watch us. But like those, my point is, like, those days are done. Like, don't even get me started on the expenses of this shit. Again, we need to double that the Miller Lite deal. But no, look, you just gotta get through it, man. Prent, if you want to stay for a week and see what it's like, if you want to shadow,
I'm good.
You want to shadow? You want to shadow the home, shadow the daycare? Dude, it's so crazy. I knew one of Brittany's friends' dads. Actually, they gave such a great rate if you work there at a not my daycare, but a different daycare. They gave such a great rate that he's got a full-time job. I don't know what he does. I just met the guy at a wedding a few months ago. He was working before work at daycare for a couple hours because they gave him a huge discount. I'm telling you, that's the business to be in, bro.
We're
daycare.
I love that he doesn't have time to watch his kid, but he has the time to work at a daycare.
So he would like bring his kid in at from 6 to 8 and then go to his other job. This is gonna be called the daycare episode. Would you trust Richie? Who would you trust with your kids of the 3? Richie Incognito, Pouncey, who is a lunatic, or Jonathan Martin? Or John Gruden?
Gruden for sure. Turn all the little baby grinders. Look at you grinding. Look at you rolling over on your tummy. Look at that. I love that. I know most babies aren't rolling over on their tummy till they're 8 months old. This kid's 6.5 months, just rolling over.
Look at the tummy time he's doing over there.
Look at this tummy time. I remember, man, at training camp, you throw down those pass blocking things. I got guys hopping over and rolling, hopping over another one. A little Timmy here could do that in a second. A little baby Timmy, what a grinder.
Well, you know, I wouldn't trust around any kid at daycare is Justin.
You know what I
Tucker.
love about you guys? You're all little grinders, but you don't even have teeth to grind. You're more little gummers.
I was trying to segue into the Justin Tucker. We have 7 more additional women who this is insane, who claim sexual misconduct. And we're up to 16 women, 16 massage therapists from 8 spas. So this broke when Justin and I did the episode. So this was my take. I'll be curious if you agree. My take was he just had his worst year ever. And this happened from 2012 to 2016. All these allegations, right? I said the team had to have known. You agree, right? They had to have known.
I have no idea.
So I'm assuming the team knew. I'm assuming the Baltimore Ravens knew. He by far had his worst statistical year. You know, at this point, he's been in the league, I think, 13 years. I think the Baltimore Ravens push this, get it leaked, so they can cut him.
Oh, wow. I thought you were insinuating that it's finally come to light, and then he knows this is happening. He has a bad year because he's like, this is about to drop, and he's just stressed out about this not kicking.
I think the Ravens, again, statistically, he's the best performing kicker percentage-wise ever.
Can't they just cut him? Like, what kind of guarantee could a kicker have?
Well, again, he's
well, you're saying they dropped this to get out of his contract, be like, oh, he's suspended or whatever.
Yeah. Let's see. When did he sign this deal? In 2022. He signed, again, he is a kicker, a 4-year, $24 million contract, which included a $5 million bonus. I mean, he already got $17.5 million guaranteed.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
If they wanted to.
So they'd owe him next year. His base salary next year is 4.2 with him. You know, he's still owed about 5.3 million next year, and then he's got a few more years. I'm just saying, you can move on from kickers. And I think I don't
think the bad press is worth the $5 million. If it was $50 million, it'd be a different story.
But you agree with me that they probably knew, right?
I don't know.
You think they didn't know about this?
If they knew about it, you're saying they found out about it between 2022 and now, or do you think they re-signed him just being like, we know, but we're just not.
Here's my point is, all these things happened from 2012 to 2016. His first 4 or 5 years on the Ravens.
I love that Justin Tucker was just assaulting massage. So he's going to massage parlors or getting masseuses, and then he's getting hard. So basically, Justin Tucker would become Justin Wood. And that was his his evil alter ego.
Well, he was busting a nut too.
Yeah.
On some of these massage tables. I mean, it's literally Deshaun Watson.
Jizz. That was when he became Justin Jizz, which sounds like a nickname that Vikings. It sounds like a nickname Vikings fans would have for Justin Jefferson.
He's basically he's Deshaun Watson 2.0 minus, from what I've seen, wanting fingers in his butthole. So those guys are commenting in the background. You there, Prano? Well, look, I think regardless, I think he's out. He's off the team. Prano is trying to figure this out. You there?
Yep, here.
I think he's out of the NFL.
For good.
I mean, he's denying it all, but it's like you and I said about Deshaun Watson, right? This isn't a he said, she said.
Yeah.
This is a he said, 16 she says.
Well, you said he's out of the NFL, or the Browns make him the highest paid kicker of all time. One or the other is going to happen.
That's true. He's vehemently denying everything, but
I look forward to the Justin 1 of 1 account for whoever is heavily invested in Justin Tucker cards.
Well, Harbaugh's going to be tested. I don't know if you've seen this. Everybody keeps bringing this up. 3 years ago, Ravens coach John Harbaugh referred to the team's zero tolerance policy for domestic violence when asked about the Deshaun Watson 6-game suspension. So they would have zero tolerance for this.
All right. Well, I guess we're about to find out if that's true.
Yeah, 7-time Pro Bowler, the most accurate kicker in NFL history. He's the only player remaining from that 2012 Super Bowl team.
Wow.
We'll see. I think they cut him.
Yeah, I think they do too.
He had his worst year.
He's a fucking kicker.
He's
What are
a
we talking
kicker.
about here?
Bring back Ray Lewis. Can you imagine Ray Lewis doing a dance before he kicks? His dance. Bro, you better get ready for you talk about one-on-one. You better get ready for Jameis Winston to find his way into like a booth or something.
Why, you think he's gonna be out of the league?
I think when he retires, it's again, it's just everybody eats it up. I don't get it.
He's the Kevin Hart football.
I think that's actually I think that's blasphemous to Kevin Hart.
And I'm so glad that I've been on the right side of history on both of these guys for the entire time.
Who's that a bigger diss on, Kevin Hart or Jameis Winston? I think it's a bigger diss
Kevin
on Kevin
Hart
Hart
for sure.
Yeah,
but it is good. It's just like I don't get it. I don't think it's funny. I think that I think that people who do think it's funny have severe mental illness. And they don't actually think it's funny, but like somebody has convinced them that it is.
Or they just see everybody online and be like, this is great. Keep him safe at all costs. There you go, Prano. Stanley. Guys, we have a hotline. 310-359-8365. Give us a ring, Dirtball Dads. Let Prano know.
I feel like we've had this. We've had people call and be like, "What do you mean your kid's in daycare at like 2 months?"
I don't think we have. I don't think actual dads have called. Yeah, 3 months. That's basically how it is. 3 months, you're going to daycare. Mom's got to go back to work. We're doing this all over again. I thought I could handle it last time, and then I was like, this just doesn't work. Like, what are you doing with the kid when you have to do work? This doesn't work. I didn't even tell you about the woman who.
Well, let me ask something. Is there a reason not to, like, what about like a rotation? Like you and other parent, like, why is it just like, hey, 3 days a week I'll watch your kid, 3 days a week you watch my kid?
Like, who am I doing that with? What parents?
I don't know. Maybe this should be an app.
By the way, the one caveat which we haven't even discussed, which will kind of maybe clear things up for you: no daycares do part-time. That would be it's all or nothing.
Right.
That would be because we've already said that with my schedule. It was like, oh, if
they don't do part-time, and you're like, well, if I'm going to pay for it, I may as well put her there.
Yeah, it's like you have to pay regardless whether your kid's there, whether you're like they give you 1 week a year for vacation, you don't have to pay, but all their 51 weeks you got to pay. So if your kid's sick or if you want to go on a couple-day vacation with the fam, you're still paying. That's where daycares have been smart. They're like the NFL with their contracts. They're like, oh, you want your kid to take care just 3 days a week? No, has to be full time.
Daycares are like Kevin Hart. They're relentless.
Kevin Hart's like Jameis Winston. He's like daycare owners.
It's the Kevin Hart episode.
I mean, wouldn't you be shocked if I went to daycare today and Kevin Hart was doing a set in the lobby? Like, would that would that be shocking?
No, not in any way, shape, or form. And you're like, how and why are you at Cincinnati daycare? It's like they asked me.
Why are you over here doing some bits?
Yeah.
Well, you guys know where to follow us at the Dirty Sports. Prano, what do you got?
At Joe Prano on all social media. Follow me there. I'm working with Eddie Ift this weekend. I'm going to be out at House Comedy in Arizona. So come see me, House Comedy AZ, this weekend with Eddie Ift. Next weekend, Slow Comedy Festival in San Luis Obispo. Tomorrow night, Ventiki in Ventura. So yeah, keep your eye on my socials and my website.
Cool.
Oh, and listen to the new Jay Moore episode.
Yeah, if you guys want to hear One Daycare, the Andy Ruther show, it's like he's like you morphed everything over here. I got to take poop out of a bathtub again a couple days ago, so that's fun.
Poop Soup.
Yeah, be a good name of a band, Poop Soup. All right, guys, thanks for listening. Thanks
Poop
for
Soup's
watching.
also the name of one of our former fans.
He who shall not be named. All right, have a great week. We'll see you guys Thursday or Friday. And as always, stay dirty.